The College Football Experience Week 7 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBet. Bet $50 at WynnBet and get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WynnBet. Download the WynnBet app now or visit wynnbet.com. That's WYNNBet.com and start winning today. We're also brought to you by Sleeper. You already play fantasy on Sleeper, but now you can win cold, hard cash with their over-under game. Just head to sleeper.com/SGP on your phone to join the SGPN group, and Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100 at sleeper.com/SGP. We're also brought to you by us. Yes, the SGPN app is live in the App Store and Google Play Store. It is free to download, and it is your home for all of our free picks and podcasts. So grab that thing today and let it ride.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
College Football Experience Week 7 preview and picks episode. If you haven't listened to, if you're just joining in, go back and listen to the other 7 because we do have week 0 covered in there. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
Nobody knows nothing. Somebody knows. Double the price. But no one touches Dundee.
Oh, man, I love this. Is this week 7 or week 8?
7.
7. It's 7. You know, it's
Don't get ahead
7.
of yourself.
Oh, I always try to get ahead of myself because I'm constantly picking winners. This guy, he picks a few winners. He doesn't do it as good as me, I like to think. But give it up for my co-host, former JMU Duke defensive back. Give it up for the burrito eating, sideline kiss stealing, wheeling and dealing, Patty C in the place to be.
Hi, well,
how you doing, pal?
I realized where I was confused there. ESPN has week 1 containing both week 0.
You tried to fuck with me. All right, we are joined by third man in the booth. Give it up for the DFS god himself. The rooftop IPA drinking, home brew making, tobacco road living, the free life giving, Farmer, Herndon Basketball League MVP. Give it up for NC Nick in the place to be.
There we go. And I am not confused. I am ready to roll, man. My mind is clear.
Good round, you're celebrating with your appetite. Bad round, you're using your appetite to forget about the round. I'll tell you something about appetite. It's a real fucking great thing to have. There's no place that better services my appetite than Pizza Hut.
How many times have you heard that and it still cracks you up? I just see Colby chuckling over here.
By the way, Pizza Hut's not giving us any money. But they should with me playing these gems for them. All right, folks. Like I said, first off, go out, subscribe to the YouTube channel, The College Football Experience, because our season preview series jumps off, kicks off, bounces off, whatever the hell you want to say, starts June 10th. That's right around the corner. We're going to have a solo podcast for every single FBS team in the land. That's 131 different episodes. Might even have a FCS episode in there for you, but we're definitely going to have some 2.0s out there. Maybe get some guests, but subscribe to the College Football Experience on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, though. Why not? Look, I know it's great to have the podcast, but you can also view us, all right? You can view Patty C's JMU Duke's hat. You can view NC Nick and his Appalachian. Oh, no, he doesn't. He switched hats. He had an Appalachian State hat on earlier.
I wear many hats.
Yeah. Anywhere he lays his hat is his home, apparently. But here we are, guys. We're 7 weeks in. Go back. We did this for week 0. We did this for week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now here we are, week 7 of the college football season. We break down every week of the college football season. We break down every team of the college football season. We talk college football year round. We've been doing this for years. Subscribe and tell a friend. All right.
If you want to see 3 good-looking guys wearing hats, I mean, where else are you going to turn to?
That's true.
Sure, you could probably find
That's
a
right.
lot of places.
And believe it or not, none of us are bald. None of us are bald yet. I'm sure I'm on the train to get
receding, yes.
there. Yes.
Bald, completely bald, not yet.
I got like that 1995 Atlanta Hawks Kevin Willis receding hairline, where it's like, do I chop it or do I? No, I'm just gonna keep.
You're not bald till you bick it.
See, Patty C's got a wise move too. Go clean shaven, you look younger.
That's right, baby.
I see what you're doing over there, Patty.
Yeah. Well, look, here we are. Last time we did this 2 weeks ago, because last week we had to do a little audible. I had the first pick, so now I have the second pick. Patty C moves to pick 3. NC Nick is at pick 1. And if you're brand new, listen to us. What we do is we rattle off the 30 best games of each week. We break down why we think they're the best games, and spice it up and talk about the college football week 7 essentially. So here we are. NC Nick is on the clock, and with that,
well, I know at least Dundee's going to disagree with me here, and before we started recording, I mentioned that it was kind of hard to pick one game this week because there's no like clear-cut best game. There's decent depth overall this week, but no really blockbuster games up top. But so anyway, with all that said, I am going to go out your way, guys, to the Pac-12, USC at Utah. For me, like I've been saying it, in all these previews, USC is must-watch football. And at Utah is always a very tricky game. In fact, the Utes are 3-1 versus USC over the last 4 in Salt Lake City. Plus, they won in LA last year, 42-26. This game has serious implications. I mean, it could be the Pac-12 championship game. I would say to make it there, but this year, both these teams, even though they're in the South, could make it in the Pac-12 championship game, right?
That is true. And this is one of the things I think Lincoln Riley is going to have to deal with. I think the Pac-12 and ACC, more so than any other conference, have this thing where you go to crazy terrains, especially Pac-12 more than any Power 5 conference.
Definitely.
You can play 1 week in a monsoon in Oregon or Washington, and then in the hot-ass desert in Tempe or at altitude in Salt Lake City or Boulder. It is a very vast difference of where you're playing.
Now, it's only mid-October, so you don't have to worry about snow or anything yet, most likely.
No, I don't know. I mean, you
never know.
Yeah.
You never know, but
shit, it snowed in Colorado like a week ago. We're in June. I mean,
but dude, this is a great game every year. Like I said, Utah's kind of had their number recently. Last year, Cam Rising, the quarterback, threw for over 303 touchdowns on the Trojans. And it could be the first of maybe 2 games this year if they also meet in the championship game. So great game here, I think.
You know what? I think I was under. Yeah, I think you're right. And another thing that I think is very interesting about this matchup, Lincoln Riley's teams at USC and even back to East Carolina, they weren't very physical.
At Oklahoma.
Guess what? I'm sorry, at Oklahoma and East Carolina. Well, guess what? Kyle Whittingham's teams are physical. So I think it's a complete contrast in styles as far as physicality and kind of like a finesse team. I can't wait to see this rivalry over the next couple of years, let alone this matchup in Salt Lake City where Rice Eccles will be packed for this one. Patty, see your thoughts on USC at Utah.
Absolutely. Massive game. I like your comment about the contrast of styles. Obviously, Oklahoma under Lincoln Riley is throwing the ball all over the place. Expect more of the same with a quarterback transfer coming through and the skill position being stacked. They're going to face a tough defense up in the mountains. I mean, yeah, it's a great look. Utah smacked them in Los Angeles last year by 16. I don't think USC is ready for this yet, but it's a pretty big litmus test for.
I think Utah's going to win this game.
Yeah.
Nick, who do you got winning this?
First off, I think USC has a decent chance of being undefeated coming into this game, which would make the stakes that much higher. I do have Utah winning this game, pulling off the upset.
We'll see if college football has the same thing that the NFL has going on. When the national championship is in Los Angeles, do they get the boost? Does
perhaps
the league cheat for them?
Just quickly here. I mean, the question is USC undefeated? And that's a huge question. We don't know what to expect.
Well, because Stanford gives them a hard time too. I feel like left and
that
right.
is at Stanford, and they also have home games. Well, they have 2 tough road trips at Stanford, at Oregon State, and then home games against Arizona State and Washington State. But I'm telling you, there's a chance come mid-October that they're still undefeated.
I got them at 5-1 at this point. At best.
Probably.
Maybe
this
not
is still a game with major implications for the Pac-12 championship, because if Oregon or whoever, Washington with DeBauer, or Chip Kelly at UCLA is able to take that spot, very huge game going at Salt Lake City. And I think you might have been right with this play there, NC Nick. But all right, well, let's hop on into pick 2. I'm taking you to the big house. Where, look, Penn State gets Ohio State in Happy Valley, right? Penn State has had a track record of kind of playing them incredibly close or perhaps knocking them off. If Penn State were to do that, this would be a very, very critical game in Ann Arbor, Michigan here. Penn State at Michigan. Sign me up. This was and last year, I'll be honest, last year I thought Michigan was going to lose this game while watching this. Michigan with I feel like before the fourth quarter started, I felt pretty damn good that Penn State was going to win this game.
Penn State was up 3 with about 5 minutes left.
Yeah, I thought they were going to win this game. So, but Jim Harbaugh found a way to get it done. Now this is in Ann Arbor, the big house. We'll see how it shakes out for Harbaugh. But this is a huge game within the Big Ten and within college football. Penn State at Michigan. Nick, your thoughts?
It is a great game, and the one thing you haven't mentioned yet is Penn State has a bye coming into this game, which I think could be huge. Michigan does not. Michigan is coming off of a trip of actually 2 back-to-back road trips at Iowa and at Indiana before this Penn State game. So yeah, I mean I think that's huge. Michigan's bye is actually following this game. So that helps Penn State's cause. I still don't know what to expect from Penn State and Clifford. Can they go on the road and knock off Michigan? I mean, sure they can. Yes. This game is close every year, but you have to favor Michigan at home. But yeah, it's a good game. I had it ranked as my number 2. You might have had it as your number 1. Differing minds. I mean, we can differ on that, but it's a great game. It's right up there.
And the last time first off, Michigan leads the series 15-10 all time. But the last time they played in Ann Arbor, Penn State won 27-17 in 2020. So, and actually they've won 3 of 4 in Ann Arbor. Penn State has.
I just feel this game is close every year. It's always, close, good finishes, close games. Yeah, great game.
That is true. I mean, there's only really been 2 there was 3 blowouts in the past 10 years, but yeah, the rest were all pretty damn close. Patty C, your thoughts? Penn State at Michigan.
I mean, we're going to see if Michigan loaded up the non-conference with absolute crap. I guess they only have 3 since they're men and play.
Yeah, it's a pathetic out of conference schedule. Yeah, absolutely pathetic.
Home against Colorado State, home against Hawaii, home against UConn, and then Maryland. So then they finally get tested with a road test at Iowa. But Indiana was crap again last year. I don't care if that's the second end of the back-to-back road. It's going to be a little harder, but I expect them to win that. 5-1, probably Michigan. Meanwhile, Penn State, decently forgiving beginning of the schedule. Depending on how they do at Purdue, they should have maybe 1 loss. And so this could be massive, not only in the national standings, but obviously in the division race. Whoever comes out of this is obviously going to be the challenger for Ohio State down the stretch.
Yeah.
I guess you can't really write off Michigan State at this point either.
I can.
Yeah, write them
off. Yeah, write them off.
We do it every year.
Yeah.
This is definitely 2 of the best 3 teams in the division, definitely.
And by the way, Patty C, I hit on Michigan State on the over last year. All right,
there it is. So
I hit.
You're not a full hater.
All right. Patty C is now on the clock.
Well, it might not have massive national implications, but it certainly has coastal implications. I could probably take you to the other side of the ACC for another big game. potentially. But I think this one will determine, in all likelihood, one of the top 2 teams in the ACC Coastal, if not the top team. And it's a great rivalry game. We're talking about the Miami Hurricanes going to the Virginia Tech Hokies. Brent Pry, without all the distractions that Justin Fuente was dealing with, might have a nice year. Virginia Tech is still a talented football team, and maybe this is a little high.
I think it's a little high, but
Hey, Colby, since 2005.
I swear.
I mean,
swear.
none of these other games have
LSU at Florida.
What, they both go 6-6 last year?
I mean, didn't Virginia Tech go 6-6?
Yeah. Miami
6-7, I think, right?
Miami is projected to have. They're the favorite at this point for the Coastal, I believe. I'm not mistaken.
All right, by fools.
By default.
By fools.
Yeah.
I'll take
I mean,
I'll take Pitt to beat them again.
I don't know. I mean, one note I had here was that, who is the favorite in the Coastal? We're talking about the Coastal. Why not these two teams? So it could be a good game, and
I don't know. I was scrambling here. I'm still trying to get organized. I thought we were on week 8, week 7. I got my little list mixed up here.
It's a fun rivalry.
It is a fun rivalry. It was better about 15 years ago, especially when they were still in the Big East. Those games were awesome.
It has
every year
personal flavor for me too. I like.
Oh, and Lane Stadium will be rocking.
The U has won 2 in a row, including a 1-point win in Blacksburg in 2020. But I agree. I think this is a fun game. It's going to be close. It's going to be competitive. So, yeah, I don't have it ranked quite as high, but it still should be a great game.
Yeah, I would have had it. I mean, I would have had it in the next couple of plays. I'll put it like that. Okay, so it's not terrible, but I do think it's Florida LSU has been some wild games. Yeah. So I think that'll probably
Those are certainly 2.
Let's say this. It wasn't in my top 5.
Yeah.
I mean, but I don't think there are a ton of other games that are absolute home runs. There are some good games.
True. No,
and
true.
Miami leads this series 24-15. But really surprisingly, Miami, even though they haven't been great this past decade, they're 7-3 in the last 10 against Virginia Tech.
It's not like the Hokies have been great either.
It's true, but I feel like Virginia Tech's been better in the past decade probably than Miami. Miami had a couple really bad seasons where they were losing to Florida International and La Tech.
Been struggling for a while. So I don't know. A little high. My apologies.
No, you're good.
Well, we keep
you're
it going.
Good. All right. NC Nick, you are on the clock.
Well, it is the game that you just mentioned there a little while ago. It is LSU at Florida, because this game is fun every year. The all-time series, 33, 32, and 3.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
This should be, I think you can make a case for it being number 1. I think Penn State, Michigan is better, and I think USC, Utah makes sense, especially for this year. But you can also spin it to the fact of 2 brand new coaches facing each other. So, and I don't know if you know this, Napier thought he was going to get the LSU job. LSU never called. So this is a and then, I mean, if you add
Harry, you never called.
Shout out to Dumb and Dumber. But then when you add in the other factor, you guys remember you had the cleat incident where the guy threw the cleat and the gate, then you also have the hurricane incident. A couple of years ago, there was a hurricane and LSU wanted to play wherever the hurricane was. I forget if it was in Gainesville or Baton Rouge. They wanted to move the home to the other stadium, and they didn't want to do it. So it was it got chippy between athletic directors.
That's right.
So
just look at the last 2 games: 49-42 and 37-34. LSU won both times. They're winners of 4 out of the last 5. But these games are always kind of wacky. Something crazy happens. This is a game that, if you're looking at the top, 25 games of the season, usually this one's one of them.
That's why it should be higher. It might even be, yeah.
It would have been higher if Florida was better last year, if they had higher projections this year. And LSU is kind of a question mark too. So that's why it's a little bit lower this year. But most seasons, this is number 1 if this is the slate this week.
Yeah, that or Penn State, Michigan.
Do we expect both of these teams to be almost undefeated coming into this game? I think LSU has a road trip to Auburn, which would be maybe the only game they're the dog in. And then Florida gets Utah coming to town. Who's favored in that? Did Vegas?
I thought it was a short. I think Florida was like a 2-point favorite or something, 2.5 point favorite.
Other than that, depending on whether they're favored,
it was a pick 'em a couple weeks ago. We mentioned it was a pick 'em.
That's right. Yeah, actually, I think you're right. So don't quote me on the 2.5 then.
Florida should be at least like 3-2, maybe 4-1 coming into this game, and you'd expect LSU to be 5-1 coming into this game. So, or I guess Florida wouldn't have had a bye, so 4-2. It could be. I mean, the stakes will certainly be there. I do like that this is their, this is probably go away soon, but they're cross-division rivals. There's something about, I don't know if you would consider Louisiana a peninsula, but they're both weird. The cultures of both of these states are weird. And so the cross-division rivalry to kind of be a peninsula thing, it kind of works here.
The cultures are New Orleans, LSU awesome, Gainesville, Florida awful.
But there are some weird people on both sides of it. Let's be honest. Maybe that's just me watching season 1 of what was that? True Detective.
Yeah, I always have a good time. Really, I've gotten hammered at both these states. I always had a good time. All right,
I like them too. I love them.
I'm just joking as well. Take it easy, Florida guys.
All right, folks. Well, I'm on the clock, folks, and I'm taking you to take me to East Lansing, Michigan. Both my first games.
Ooh.
Big Ten Colby.
Yeah, let's
Really?
Well, here's my angle on this. Midnight Mel Tucker. He played at Wisconsin. The Badgers are coming to town. That. And get this. The Badgers have won 3 of 4 in this series, and some of them have been ugly, including the last 2 matchups where Wisconsin won 38-0 and 30-6. This is a big one here. The last 2 times they've been in East Lansing. Well, I'm sorry. The last time they were in East Lansing, Wisconsin won. The previous 2, Michigan State won. And those were close games. So give me a little old rock fight. Heavy run. Wisconsin at Michigan State. I know NC Nick's ready to talk shit about my pick. And go.
No, I mean, I didn't have it this high. I had several games higher, but it's a decent game because the 2 teams don't play very often. Just 3 times since that big 2011 Big Ten championship game. But you mentioned the blowouts of late. I don't know if you were trying to state your case for or your case against. I don't know. But no, I don't expect a blowout this time. And really, I mean, if you look at it, this is a part of a tough stretch of games for Sparty. They have Ohio State and Wisconsin at home, a bye, and then they go at Michigan.
Yeah.
That's in 4 weeks to have those 3 teams, at least 2 of them are at home. But I'm probably on the Badgers here. But no, I expect a close game. Should be fun. A little high, but not too bad.
Graham Mertz for everybody, right? I'm buying his T-shirts.
It's tough to say this is too high. I mean,
yeah. What do you mean? What is definitely better than this?
Won a New Year's 6 game last year. The other one's probably the favorite to, I don't know, get the second New Year's 6 spot for the Big Ten this year.
Michigan State's not that good.
Yeah,
I agree.
And is Wisconsin. You guys were saying that under Chris, the program's slipping a little bit.
Yeah, they're still a good program, though.
I don't necessarily believe that, but
they're ahead of Virginia Tech.
The rest of the Big Ten West has come up.
And I had this game higher also. So.
Okay. I admit it. It was a little high. Look,
way to deflect that blame, Colby. They're coming at me. I'm going to pass it around over to Patty.
I did look at this. It's surprising. I'm looking now. They play basically every year up until 1996 on an annual basis. Since then, it's been a little less frequent. I did look back. Michigan State has had different season-ending rivals here and there throughout their history, but Wisconsin, I want to say in like the 70s and 80s, was their season-ending rival. So there is some old bad blood when this rival.
When you add in the fact Tucker played at Wisconsin,
yeah,
probably
does
some
that matter. I mean,
do
people even know that? Like, I had no idea.
He does.
Yeah, I knew it. Your boy Dundee. That's why you're rocking with DJ Dundee here. All right. Well, let's continue on this journey. Patty C.
Oh boy. Okay. So we were talking about this one online earlier today. someone basically taking a dump on Auburn, maybe rightfully so, but they did play well in some good games last year. Obviously, the Alabama game being their most impressive performance in a losing effort. They are going to a team they beat last year in Ole Miss. Is Lane Kiffin, with the new quarterback, still going to have another 10-2 season in the SEC West? We don't know, but
will Brian Harsin be coaching this game?
Yeah, that's a good question. Although I felt like Auburn's schedule was pretty forgiving up front. Let me double check that.
Yeah, they're at home. I think their first.
They got Penn State coming to town. That's one big one I know. But dude, Auburn's won 6 in a row.
No, it's not. Gosh, they have a tough front end of the slate.
Auburn?
Yeah, they have.
They don't play a road game until like October 12th or something.
Yeah, but they have LSU, Georgia, at Georgia, and at Ole Miss in 3 straight weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
Brutal.
That's fair.
And that Georgia game is like you said, is at Georgia, and it's the second of a back-to-back. This game here is.
And they've won
at Georgia, at Ole Miss is tough.
Yeah, you're catching a body blow on the road, and then you got to go to Ole Miss.
And you said they've won 6 in a row against
6 in a row against Ole Miss.
Can Lane Train get one?
That's it. I mean, that's it's almost a must-win. Figuring that Ole Miss is at home, in order for them to reach like the heights that they have in their sights, and they have to win this game. They're at home, and Auburn is in the second of a back-to-back. So this is a game that I had higher than both Miami, Virginia Tech, and Wisconsin, Michigan State because of Auburn's dominance of late.
That's crazy. I had it further down.
I mean, I would expect Ole Miss to come into this game 6-0. And then, so if they get this one at home against Auburn, 7-0 going into back-to-back weeks at LSU and A&M. So absolutely massive for them to get that, because you'd fully expect them to drop one of those on the back-to-back road there. So if they're going to stay alive for the SEC West race, then they absolutely need this. Then they get the bye before Alabama off that. So they could be in position, but this is a must-win.
It is. All right, before we get to NC Nick's next pick, I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by WynnBet. Make sure to get down on WynnBet's $50. Essentially, you bet $50, win $200 promotion, where a $50 bet qualifies you for up to $200 in free bets. Plus, they have the ultimate fantasy football experience right now. Bet $500 or more on sports or the casino before July 31st, 2022, and get entered to win the ultimate fantasy football draft experience at Encore Beach Club, including a 2-night stay at Wynn Resorts for you and your entire league. How great is that? They'll send your whole league there. Multiple entries allowed. And get this, you can party with DJ Diesel. Yes, I'm talking about Shaq Fu, Shaquille O'Neal there. All users can bet $100 on NBA or casino and be entered into a prize drawing to attend DJ Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal performance at Encore Beach Club, as well as a meet and greet with DJ Diesel. How about that? There's so much to choose from, and all you have to do is download the WynnBet app or visit wynnbet.com. That's WYNNBet.com to get started today. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions apply at wynnbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where WynnBet is available. If you or somebody you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. I wonder if DJ Diesel is going to play Do You Want Me to Shoot It? Or do you want me to pass it? Or do you want me to slam it in the middle of that DJ set?
I hope so.
Can't Stop the Rain.
From the Kazam soundtrack?
All I know is I heard DJ Diesel like 5 times.
Yeah, DJ Diesel.
Man.
I thought it's classic right there. All right.
Dude,
all right.
Shaq seems like a fun dude to party with.
Oh, for sure.
He seems like first off, he seems like an all-around good dude, which is kind of surprising when you get to that level of fame.
Yeah.
I know some stories about Shaq.
Oh, maybe not.
I mean, it's not bad. It's just what you would expect when you get to that level.
Yeah.
No, he's a good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a good guy, but I mean, he's not an angel. I'll put it that way.
No one is.
Yeah,
right?
no one's an angel.
Who wants to party with an angel?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, come on. All right. NC Nick.
No, correct that. It's Big 12, Nick, and I'm going to take you to Austin.
That's what I was doing.
It's a fun game, man, especially since the Cyclones have won 3 in a row. Iowa State at Texas. Matt Campbell and company have dominated the Burnt Orange of late, including last year's 30-7 win in Ames.
Do I need to talk about the recruiting overrated at this point?
There you
this
go.
segment here, Patty C. 3 straight in a row for Matt Campbell.
I mean, if you're asking me to defend the recruiting rankings here, I will not, because there is not much meat to work with on that bone. Yeah, I mean, talk about coaching chops and player development. Matt Campbell is top of the line in both, it seems. A little bit off last year, didn't quite live up to the high expectations, but great coach still. And our boy Sarkisian has a lot to prove. This is a big one for him.
Texas also coming off the big Red River rivalry shootout, if I can say that. I'm not sure if that matters, but I would imagine Iowa State catches them in a pretty good spot here.
Yeah, and look, Matt Campbell went 7-6 last year, but I'm going to go ahead and say, okay, the Oklahoma or the what game was that? The Baylor game. They completely outgained Baylor. Baylor won 31-29. Sure, the 10-point. Kirk Ferentz has this number, I feel like, but a couple other outings I felt like kind of came down to the wire. I think that team was probably better than their record actually was. But hey, they've been getting it done against Texas. Whatever it is, circle it. All right. Do they win this one, guys? Prediction?
Why not? Sure.
I want to see who's starting at quarterback.
Quinn Ewers, it seems like it's going to be
he's leading the race here.
I'm hearing that's
by this point in the season.
Come on, have you seen his mullet?
Yeah, I mean,
guaranteed 3 picks in this game.
It is Brett Favre meets Brian Bosworth.
Yeah. So you're taking Texas, Patty C, to win this one? Get back on the winning side of things?
I don't think so. I think I don't know. Being in Darrell Royal is a big advantage there. It's going to be a really close game, but 2 of the last 3 years it's been a close game, and Iowa State's found a way to win. So I expect maybe them to continue. I flip a coin. I don't know. Pretty non-committal here.
I had this ahead of a couple other games we had on the slate. I had it ahead of Auburn, Ole Miss. I had it ahead of Miami, Virginia Tech. Basically, all Patty C's fucking draft picks. I think it's a damn good game, though. I really do.
Texas didn't do shit last year. How are you going to have this above? I guess Ole Miss or not Auburn didn't either.
Just hating on Texas is fun.
Yeah, especially knowing they're leaving soon too.
Yeah, loving Iowa State and hating on Texas is
so. All right. Well, next up it's I'm taking you to. Well, let's have some fun in Provo, Utah.
Nice choice.
Provo, Utah, where Sam Pulled Pork Pittman is coming into Provo. You better believe contrasting styles. How about that Arkansas baseball fan that just picked up a fucking raccoon in the middle of the game? Did you see that?
Pretty gangster. Very Arkansas.
Pretty gangster, but then he did have to go to the emergency room later in the night with a little bit of rabies, I think. Nice case of rabies, but hopefully there'll be plenty of cases of rabies going on here. It's better than soaking. What's better, rabies or soaking?
I would take soaking easily. I mean, I don't know. So
easily
soaking would be
still kind of torture.
It is torture.
Right?
You're right. You're just looking her in the eye.
I'd rather be watering from the mouth, just banging my head through a fucking wall. But Arkansas at BYU. This is a fun one in Provo. Kalani Sitake against Sam Pulled Pork Pittman. Love the coaching name matchup. I'm going to call. Look, you don't go into what Mississippi State found out when they had Mullen. You go into Provo, you're not going to get that dub. Cougars get it done against KJ Jefferson and the Razorbacks. What do you think?
Absolutely. I think BYU mollywops them. I think we're looking at a nice little nugget for us to work with here when we argue against the SEC moving forward. Not that I wouldn't be super disappointed because I actually like Pittman a lot.
I love Pittman too. I would love to see the Razorbacks. It doesn't matter to me who wins.
I enjoy watching the SEC lose. I'm not gonna lie.
Nick, what do you make of Arkansas at BYU?
No, this is a fun game. I actually had a top 5. So I had this ranked higher than several that we've already mentioned. Couple of nuggets here. First off, BYU, they have, as far as returning production, if you follow Bill Connolly, he's a good writer on ESPN and some other sites. BYU is second in the nation in returning production, 88%. They are number 1 on defense with 97% of the production returning, and number 28 on offense, including Jaron Hall, the really good quarterback, which I think 80% of their offensive production returns. BYU was really good last year. They won double-digit games last year. So this is a very, very tough game for Arkansas. And you know what? It's also the second of a back-to-back road trip because they're at Mississippi State the week before.
Wow.
I don't know what they're doing to themselves.
About a nightmare preparing for both of those schemes back to back.
Seriously. And if you look at, let's take a quick look, take a step back.
They've never played each other, too. Might I add. Never.
Let's take a quick look at Arkansas's out-of-conference schedule compared to Bama. Arkansas, who already has the short end of the stick as far as SEC scheduling, thanks to the conference itself.
Thank you, Mr. Sankey.
They play Cincinnati and Liberty at home. Two really good group of 5 schools. They had the one FCS game against Missouri State.
Who's good? They were in the FCS playoffs.
Exactly. And then at BYU.
Road rash face Bobby Petrino. Yeah, and then at BYU. That's a brutal out-of-conference schedule.
And you're in the freaking SEC West. It's crazy. I mean, look, Bama plays at Texas. I guess giving credit for finally playing an actual road game instead of a neutral site. But then Utah State at home. Okay. Utah State won
had a good year last year.
Credit. But then ULM and Austin Peay.
Yeah, I mean, pull up LSU. LSU gets a Florida State game in New Orleans, which is basically a home game for LSU. Yeah. Then they get Southern, the Jaguars of Southern, in a SWAC. And then they get New Mexico. And who's their 4th game? I'm not sure. But
they get UAB late in the season, which is decent.
Yeah. It's still not the same as that. Yeah.
That would be a better example, but I was comparing Arkansas to the top of the SEC West.
Or how about you look at Kentucky? You want to know why Kentucky's had success?
You want to know why they want to keep to an 8-game conference schedule?
Yeah. Kentucky, look, they're fool's gold. They've been fool's gold. Look, he's doing a great job there, but they schedule Louisville and normally a MAC and CUSA and FCS game in Lexington. And they're not normally, it's normally like Akron. It's not your top teams.
Yeah.
So,
and strategically place them.
Yes. And hey, it's a winning formula. And Mark Stoops keeps collecting that. He's got one of the best contracts in sports. Only like this, I think if he wins 7 games, he gets like an extra $1 million or something. So
they know what they're doing.
Shout out to Mark Stoops.
It is not
Genius.
an accident. They do this on purpose.
All right, Patty C.
Well, there's 2 games on the schedule that I'm looking at here, but I'm taking over the moniker of ACC, Pat, from Nick this week, and we are going to Tallahassee. And maybe it's the TMZ in me that loves the name recognition.
Oh, man,
but
well, this is the book game.
The book game. Oh, and
this is the book game where a Florida State fan was reading a fucking novel in the middle of a third quarter matchup against the Clemson Tigers because Clemson was up so much.
Shirtless, just like catching some rays, reading a novel.
Classic. And by the way,
it was a Curious George book because it was a Florida State fan. Let's be honest.
Clemson has won 6 in a row. 6 in a row, and only one of them was by 1 score or less.
Well, guess what? Last year, you watched this game closely. You said Florida State had the lead late and should have taken this game.
But they did what Florida State has been doing lately. Found a way to squander this. Clemson played everyone close last year, I feel like.
Fair enough. I just think that this year we're going to see a different Florida State, potentially. They did improve at the end of last year.
Still trying to sell us on that, Nick. You believe that? He's still trying to sell us on that.
I did a little bit of a deep dive here, and if I can interject. In the last 5 years, overall, Florida State is 26-33.
Okay.
If you're looking at total wins, not conference wins, but total wins in the ACC, that is 11th out of 14. There's only 3 teams in the ACC with less total wins than Florida State. That is Duke, Syracuse, and Georgia Tech. how
This
the mighty
team
have fallen.
won a national championship 9 years ago. Okay.
How far have they fallen so
Yeah.
quickly? That's
How-
crazy.
The whole thing about it is you can fall far quickly, but you still are less than a decade removed from a national championship. You can't be that bad. It's
No, they're 26-33 in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
They're that bad.
dude, but they still beat a decent Miami team last year. They, like you said, they should have beaten a 10-3 Clemson team last year. They kept up with an 11-1 and went to overtime with 11-1 Notre Dame last year.
They also lost to Jacksonville State,
they
who
beat
was
North
500
Carolina
in the
last year.
FCS last year.
Look,
If
they're
it was
still-
1 or 2 years, okay, but to have such a precipitous drop for 5 straight years is crazy. I mean, like, what is wrong with the program in Tallahassee?
well,
Is
they're
it
just
a head coach? I mean, what the hell's going
Well,
on?
I'm sure, a head coach and getting buy-in from the players. I mean, they had some head cases, but year 3, often a coach will get things turned around a little bit. That's what Norvell's looking at. He's had some time to instill his
But
culture.
I actually think you want to talk Brian Harsin potentially being fired. Pull up Florida State's 2022 schedule. After Duquesne, who, by the way, beat an FBS last year, right? Which I think Florida State will beat Duquesne. I think Florida
Sure
State.
hope so.
I think Florida State's going to lose in the Superdome, and then there's one of those dumbass quote unquote neutral site games. Should have been Baton Rouge, but I think they lose that. I think they're probably going to lose at Louisville. I think Louisville's got a better team right now.
That's a
maybe.
toss-up.
Well, I just feel like Malik Cunningham coming back.
True.
I just think Louisville's ahead of them right now. Boston College with Jerkovic and Zay Flowers returning. I think
In
BC's a
Tallahassee?
better team right now. Then you add Wake Forest with Clawson.
Ooh, yeah, they have a tough little.
Then you
stretch
have
there.
at NC State, who I just read a publication today had them top 10, and then Clemson.
Florida State might be 1-5.
Mike Norvell might not even coach this fucking game.
But if Florida State does take a step forward, and they're the team they were even like, I don't know, a year or two after, which I don't know. I'd have to look what they were, but all that to say, Clemson is being projected by some to go to the playoff. Any trip to Tallahassee should have a full set of stands there. It's going to be a tough environment for Clemson to win it.
Yeah, I mean, I think is Deion Sanders going to be the next head coach at Florida State?
That might happen. That might be the other thing to look out for with this game.
I think this game's way too early, though, man. I could care. This is one of these. I mean, I guess I just think it's going to be a blowout. I just think Florida State's not there yet. But
Let me ask
you're
you
right. You're right. Because Clemson, I think, is starting to lose its edge. I think it could be a good game.
How many other games on the slate involve 2 teams that have won a national championship in the last decade?
Okay, but Florida State's was gimmick. Yeah.
No, that is a good question
Gimmick.
here.
Yeah,
This
they
is
won the
really-
ACC. They didn't have to play a 14 playoff.
This
You're
is really
before-
a barometer for Clemson, if anything. Let's
Yeah.
see where
Yeah.
Clemson's at.
Yeah.
Was last year an aberration? And I mean, it wasn't like they had an awful year last year. I think they still won like 9 games or 10 games or something, but still, they did not look like the Clemson that we were used to seeing.
And they lost both coordinators.
Yeah.
They how about this? I mean, look at Clemson last year. They beat Georgia Tech by 6 points, and Georgia Tech that they did that on a goal line stand. Georgia Tech was about to win that thing 15-14, right?
Oh, no, you're right. I mean, they played every game close.
Yeah, they
So-
beat Boston College by 6. They beat Syracuse by 3. Syracuse missed a game-tying field goal to send that to overtime.
Yeah, let me tell you, it wasn't the defense. Their defense was still good. It was the offense. So good luck, UVA and Tony Elliott and Patty C.
I think the offense has been okay before. I have a longer memory than 1 year.
I guess this
Fair
game,
enough.
I shouldn't hate on where it's played because I feel like this one might be interesting because of the stakes. We're going to learn about Clemson and we're going to learn if Mike Norvell is even going to be coaching there, so
We'll see. It'll
All
be
right.
fun if Deion went to Florida State. I'll be honest. If he's on if Norvell, God, I have nothing against him, but if he's on the verge of losing his job and Deion Sanders is up on the hiring block, I hope he loses and I hope he gets killed by Clemson.
All right, pick 10, NC Nick. NC Nick, are you there? Are you there? I think he's freezing up. We're having technical difficulties. It wouldn't be an episode without some North Carolina thunderstorms.
Tornadoes.
Yeah, tornado warning in North Carolina.
I think he's
NC
back.
Nick,
Yeah.
you are up. Pick 10. What are you doing?
All right. It's about time we talk about a weekday game. I told you, don't call me NC Nick anymore. Call me Big 12 Nick. Let me tell you this. The Baylor Bears have never won in Morgantown.
Ooh.
Never.
Wow.
Oof.
Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. I love the Thursday matchups. I don't care about NFL Thursday night. I'll be watching this game. Yeah, I mean, these teams only played 10 times, obviously, with West Virginia kind of being new to the Big 12. The Mountaineers lead the series 6-4, and they're a clean 5-0 at home.
Morgantown's going to be lit for this.
Dude, prime time Thursday night?
Yeah.
It's college. Thursday's the start of the weekend. That would be a fun game to go to. It would be. So Baylor won last year 45-20. It was in Waco. Expect at least a close game here. Come on. This is a great Thursday night game here. This is played where it should be, if not a little bit higher.
I'm on board. Patty, see your thoughts. Baylor, West Virginia.
Only thing about this is West Virginia has been a little bit underwhelming. I will say that Morgantown makes a big difference. And it, like Nick said, that's a crazy stat if Baylor's never won there. And can Baylor maintain? Because, obviously it's been due to coaching turnover that they've had some down years, and typically they perform very well, but who knows if they have the consistency. Maybe last year was a little flash in the pan.
Yeah. I mean, look, Neil Brown, will he be coaching? He's kind of in the Norvell camp. This is a huge year for him.
It's too early for him to get fired mid-season.
Yeah, I think they would give him the whole year.
Yeah.
But this is a huge opportunity. West Virginia's got some other big-time Thursday night games this year against against Virginia Tech and against Pittsburgh. Backyard brawl back.
Talk about ingratiating yourself to the fans. Beat both of them. He'll be back next year if they go 2-10 and beat Virginia Tech and Pitt.
Right, good point. Good point. All right. Well, then it goes to me. Here we go, folks. I am taking you to Lexington, Kentucky. I just talked some shit about them. But get this. They are, if they can get this win against Coach Leach, friend of the program, Mike Leach, they will be 25-25 all time, because currently Mississippi State's 25-24 against Kentucky. Mississippi State won it last year 31-17 in Starkville. The year prior, they lost in Lexington 24-2. It has been a little bit back and forth, 2-2 in their last 4.
Well, what's funny is that Kentucky's won in the last 6 games. Kentucky's won all 3 in Lexington, while Mississippi State has won all 3 in Stark Vegas. It's almost like home field advantage matters.
Yeah,
just slightly.
You're seeing that with the USFL, right? Yeah. What do you guys think of this game? A little bit off the radar, but I think it's a big year. Mike Leach. I was chatting it up with some Mississippi State fans on Twitter that are very optimistic about their team this year. And obviously Kentucky. People talking Will Levis, top 10 pick. Sign me up for Mississippi State at Kentucky. Patty, see your thoughts.
Well, I'm looking at this, and it looks like out of the last 5 games, none of them have been within 2 touchdowns, or even 3 touchdowns. It looks like a couple have been within 2 touchdowns. So, but not particularly close games. The home team completely dominating. That looks good for Kentucky here.
Yeah.
But obviously, year 3. A big year for Leach. Traditionally, obviously, we said year 4 is
his big jump.
His biggest jump. Yeah. But I do expect year 3 to be a big one for him. So, and you know what? This could also be, if they're searching for these divisional pod rivals, what have you, and this game is as competitive as it has been, then maybe this becomes an annual thing. I guess it already is, but no, it isn't. They
play every year.
They
right?
play every year. Are they current cross division rivals?
Cross division.
Okay.
So I don't know. I just think it's a pretty good game. I think when you're getting to this point, there's a drop off. I think this is the first one of that drop off, but I still think it's a good game, and I'm excited to watch Coach Leach.
I agree. Yeah. I had it as a top 10 game myself. I mentioned BYU as far as their returning production. Mississippi State, year 3 under Leach, and also year 3, if I can find my camera. And also the top ranked SEC school as far as returning production, 78% of their production return. So
watch out.
All things are leading up to this. So, but that is a tricky road trip. So yeah, should be
I think tide turning. As I remember, I was raised in the desert, but tides kind of it's easy to see a tide turn. Did I say those words?
Did I say those words? Could this be a big year for Coach Leach? We shall see. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited. All right, Patty C.
Ooh. So I am taking us to Fort Worth, Texas, where the Horned Frogs of TCU will be hosting the defending Sugar Bowl champion Oklahoma State Cowboys in a big game. I mean, TCU didn't have a great last few years, but they are still an elite potential program. All right, we're down to number 12 here. We're talking about potentially elite programs. Oklahoma State, however, depending on if you view Sugar Bowl wins as elite,
I mean, they were an inch away from the playoffs or the Invitational, whatever the fuck you want to say. But
or what? No, they were Fiesta Bowl champs. Sorry, Baylor beat Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl. That's right. They beat Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl. Equally impressive. Do I think Mike Gundy's squad will be ready for this and favored? Certainly, but going to Fort Worth could be tough.
It can. And Sonny Dykes, he can dial up an offense. The question is can they play any defense without Gary Patterson there? Nick, Oklahoma State at TCU, you're a Big 12 hater traditionally.
Not so far this episode, buddy.
That's true.
It was 63-17 last year. Here's what
there's a new sheriff in town. Like we said, what was homies?
Sometimes may be good, sometimes may be shit.
What was Gary Patterson's hit song? She couldn't handle my blitz.
She couldn't handle my blitz and loves nothing but a 3-3-5 defense. Coming to you by way of DJ Dundee.
No, but anyway, I don't expect that lopsided of a game this go around, but it's not on my list of must-watch games. I had it at rank number 20th, so this is where Big 12 hater Nick will come out.
There it is.
There you go. All right, well, NC Nick, maybe you'll have something to say about what you had higher than it right here.
I get my chance?
Yes.
Am I up? Oh, come on, man. All right, so you guys are going to give me shit. Everybody's going to give me shit. I don't care. UNC at Duke. It's about time.
It's a basketball rivalry.
Look, all right, so I did my little research on this, and this series, this rivalry kind of shows in a nutshell Cutcliffe's tenure at Duke. Okay, so he took over the program that was at the very bottom of all college football in 2008. He lost his first 4 games to the Heels. Makes sense. He's kind of building up the program. Then he won 5 out of the next 7.
Impressive.
But then we start to see the decline of Cutcliffe, and they lost the last 3. The last 3 years. So
2 of which by 30 points or more.
Yeah, exactly. They weren't even very close. So this is a big game for Duke here. It's a big game for Elko in year 1. Sure, I'm playing it higher than everybody else because of where I live and my allegiance to Duke. So suck it. All right.
That's very, very, very Ric Flair like there.
Gotta throw some personal flavor in there,
It's so hard for me to sit back here in this studio looking at a guy out here hollering my name when last year I spent more money on spilled
liquor
in bars from one side of this world to the other than you made. You're talking to the Rolex
Just play it all.
wearing,
This is so good.
diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down.
Oh, the end with the alligators. He took Halle Berry to Space Mountain. Yeah, UNC Duke. This is obviously, this is terrible. I mean, it's a rivalry. I can appreciate that.
4th place in the coastal implications here.
Hey, I can still remember exactly where I was when Jamison Crowder caught that touchdown in the waning seconds in 2012 that Duke beat UNC in the last game of the season to hit their first bowl game in like forever. Okay.
Yeah. Well, maybe
I was in
takes it back.
Charlotte actually at a UNC bar. So
You were the only person that
one more
remembers that.
time, suck it again.
All right. It goes to your good old boy Dundee. And
when Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
that's right, folks. And that's why I'm going to take you to let's have a little fun. Look, you call me crazy here. No, I'm going to West Lafayette, where I think this game is going to be of significance in the Big Ten West, because I do think Scotty Frost is going to salvage his job in Lincoln, Nebraska. They travel to West Lafayette, Indiana, to take on Aiden O'Connell and the Purdue Boilermakers. This could be a high octane Jeff Brown's offense against Mark Whipple. Underrated little matchup here. Definitely better than the previous two games played. Give me Nebraska at Purdue. Nick, your thoughts?
No, it's played where it should be. A couple things here. Well, first off, the Purdue's won 3 out of the last 4. I think they've established a clear pecking order in the Big Ten West, where Purdue is above Nebraska right now. And it's at home. And I like this Purdue team coming into the year. It's also the second of back-to-back road games for Nebraska, because they're at Rutgers the week before. But it's a fun game. But I think Purdue wins.
I'm not ready to say that. I think this is a
I am ready to say it. Go Boilermakers.
I think this will be chaos. It's going to be a lot of offense. I don't know who wins it. You got to remember that the best 3-8 team ever, or best 3-9 team ever last year, the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Colby's still holding on to Frost, Patty. She's still
9 one-possession losses.
9
one score losses.
Yeah, 1 score losses, including to playoff teams.
Yeah, I mean,
he's still holding on to Frost.
Hey, he's got to salvage it. Mark Whipple. Trev Albert's going to look like a genius after this year.
What a huge year. I mean, they don't really go on a true road game until October 7th this year, and this would be the second in a row.
Well, they play a game in Ireland in week 0, but yeah.
It's not. It's neutral. That's a true neutral set of game, I would say. But what's it called? Who would have thought Nebraska would have been truly behind Purdue by this point in their tenure in the Big Ten?
Let me ask you this. Nebraska or Florida State? Who's been better over the past 5 years?
I want to say Nebraska on the eye test.
Nebraska has.
Well, I gave you the Florida State record earlier. Give me that Nebraska record. That's kind of hard to pull up on the fly here.
It's not going to be probably much better.
No, it's pretty damn similar.
I think they had a 9-win year with Pelini, though, right?
They haven't lost to any FBS schools. I'm sorry, FCS schools.
Yeah, that's true. But so but that was Pelini. I mean, that was a while ago. No, Riley in 2016 won 9 games. But after that, 4-8, 5-7, 3-5, 3-9. They're on the same level.
They're on the same level. They might be worse.
Well, they play in the Big Ten.
They fired him for what, winning 9 every single year, and they haven't won more than 5.
They would love to win 9 games.
Look, they fired Bo Pelini after doing this: 9-4, 10-4, 10-4, 9-4, 10-4, 9-4.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Unfucking believable.
What fucking idiots. There's nothing else you can say about it.
Yeah.
Who's the Nebraska guy at SGPN? Is it Cody?
Yeah, Cody Zeeb. Shout out to Cody Zeeb. Listen to the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
What's up, man?
Sorry, I don't mean to shit on Nebraska that hard. I like them.
Well, even worse, that's not even their worst firing of the century. It was Frank Solich, because listen to Solich. 9-4, 12-1, 10-2, 11-2 loss in the national championship, 7-7, and then 10-3 and fired.
You guys had your delusional fan bases argument. Did you mention Nebraska?
We did.
Thank you.
Did.
Okay.
Yeah. A big year for Frost. Big year for Frost.
That's beyond delusional. That's like, unless you're winning the national championship, you're out.
And by the way, Frank Solich went to Ohio, and now he's on the cusp. He's in the College Football Hall of Fame. What's that? Say that again. I'm sorry. NC Nick, you still there?
He froze on
7. He said this fucking North Carolina internet stuff. I mean, it's just crazy
Stone
here.
Age.
It's crazy here. NC Nick, are you with us?
He's loading up.
Are you with us, NC Nick? but I don't know. Well, Nick, what were you saying there? You're back. What were you saying?
Nebraska become Alabama. It's not 1989 anymore.
Yeah. Dean Steinkooler's not walking through that door. Next up, Patty C is on the clock. What are you doing here?
Speaking of Bama, let's go to Knoxville, where the Crimson Tide will be meeting the Volunteers in a big-time matchup. Should Tennessee kind of be improving like we expect them to be? I don't know. What do you guys think of this game?
I thought there was a chance that Tennessee could be like Michigan State this year. But I do think you're playing it in the spot where you have to play it.
Yeah.
This is an ancient rivalry.
Agreed.
Unfortunately, they haven't been that close lately.
Well, Bama's won 15 in a row.
Yeah. Yeah.
52-24, 48-17, 35-13, 58-21.
Tennessee fans are just cringing.
45-7. Do I need to go on? Alan Cooley, you out there?
Yeah, Alan Cooley he's not on this weekend. He's not out there.
He's getting hammered just listening to this.
Shout out to Alan Cooley. I mean, you got to play it here because we'll have it on at God's Eye in the studio here at SGPN. But
Alabama's most played rival of all time.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about this online because, I grew up with one of my good friends being a Bama fan, and Alabama LSU was actually not a rivalry really until the 2000s.
Yeah.
So Tennessee was one of the big games. I remember in the mid 90s, going to his house, and it was the Tennessee matchup. It was the Auburn was obviously number one, but it was Tennessee, and even Florida, I feel like, was more of a game than the LSU one. And now you've had kind of all this shit change, and Bama's just rolled them.
Dude, from 95 to 2004, Tennessee won 9 out of 10.
Wow. Alabama, though, I mean, these games have been ugly. Only two in the past 15 have been by a score or less.
This year, though, I mean, especially being at Tennessee, we're thinking more positive about the Tennessee program. So there's a chance that this one is closer than expected. I think it will at least be closer than the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, if Heupel wins this, are they going to do just like they said Texas is back when they beat Notre Dame in the season opener? Is Tennessee back if Heupel wins this?
That would be a huge freaking win, let me tell you.
Yeah, that would
talking about getting the boosters to open up their pockets.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, that really would. All right. I think you had to play it there. It makes sense. So next up. NC Nick, you are on the clock, buddy.
Well, let me just stick with the weekday games. I got Fun Belt Wednesday coming for you. I got the new arrival, Marshall, the Thundering Herd, which is a perfect fit for the conference. They're hosting last year's Sun Belt champion, the Louisiana Raging Cajuns. I love me some Fun Belt. I love me some Wednesday night football. Sign me up here.
I'm in. And look, we were just in some Twitter arguments about our coaching. By the way, check out, go to TCE on SGPN on Twitter to see our coaching rankings for each conference.
Apparently, Charles Huff's 7-6 season has proven more than Terry Bowden's 11-0 season at Auburn.
Yeah, and Akron's only bowl season too.
Delusional. Like, pump the brakes on Huff here, okay?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. East Carolina took care of them last year. He huffed and he puffed and he lost. All right. No, this is great. The Sun Belt, we talked about how much we are excited about the new Sun Belt and what's happening with college football. We might not like some of the other realignment, but one thing we do like is the new Sun Belt. I think it's one of our favorite conferences.
Well, their approach is great. Screw the big market.
Yeah, go to what makes college football unique.
Yeah, go for the passion.
Yeah, exactly.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the first Wednesday night game of the year too.
Why? Who knows?
Why? I don't know. Yeah.
Give us a fucking Wednesday night game every week, please. College football. When are you going to make Pick Dundee commissioner? All right. When?
You think both of these teams are taking this game seriously? Both teams coming off a bye for this one.
There we go.
Well, whenever there's a Wednesday game, they do that.
Kind of have to. Okay, that makes sense.
I think it's fantastic. I think you're playing it in the right spot. You could argue maybe a couple others,
Is
but
this the biggest Wednesday night football game of all times?
No, probably not. I'm sure there's been something.
As big as I can remember. I don't even remember Wednesday football really ever happening.
Sunbelt has been doing Wednesday games.
The MAC does it too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a pretty big game though. I mean, you got two good teams here.
TMZ Pat hates the MAC. Absolutely hates the MAC.
I mean, it's just because all the teams are interchangeable on any given year.
Yeah. And
we should make it fun.
And we should mention that JMU, I read that article, they weren't that far away from joining the fucking MAC.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't. They're way more fun in the Sun Belt.
Smart move.
I'll say this. For the teams 80 through 130 most years, maybe like 70 through 130, it would be nice if there was a little separation so that I can at least know what to look for. Other than that, I'm just watching a clusterfuck, which I'm learning to appreciate. I'll give
Nick
you that.
Saban, Urban Meyer, PJ Fleck. I mean, how many great coaches started in the MAC? Appreciate it.
I do. I'm
Dave Doran.
Colby, I'll give Colby credit for this shit. He likes the randomness.
I'll be honest. There are several times I would rather watch a MAC game than a Power 5 game.
Look, I'm not gonna lie. Like when the MAC plays on Saturday, obviously it gets way lost. But tell me some Tuesday MACtion.
Yeah,
some
give me like a
Wednesday
game
MACtion.
at Northern
Hell
Illinois, where the place
Definitely.
gets lit in the snow. It is much more enjoyable to me than several.
Than Alabama, Kentucky. Absolutely.
I'm not gonna go as far
100%,
as hipster Colby, but still MACtion on Tuesday or Wednesday.
I left my glasses at home. All right, next up. DJ Dundee here, and I am taking you to Vegas, Greenville, North Carolina, because Ryan Silverchild, he is going to get fired from Memphis, because you're going to find out in the coming years. You already found out Fuente couldn't cut it. Well, guess what? Fuente was still the best coach Memphis had. Norvell, he ain't going to cut it at Florida State. And Silverfish, he isn't going to cut it down there with Memphis. So ECU is here to stay. Mike Houston's built this thing. He had to build this after this disaster from this Duke implant. So ECU waxes Memphis. I don't know if you've been following the college baseball playoffs. Hilarious when the UVA players were saying it. Oh man, this environment's toxic. The players are calling us out. The fans are calling us out. Right?
I heard it was only 4 fans with
It wasn't even the ECU game, Nick. You know how they play the regionals? Like so ECU was the hosting site.
Yeah.
UVA was playing another. It was not ECU. And the ECU fans went to boo the shit out of the UVA fans.
They did show out.
I love ECU.
There was apparently 4 dudes with microphones in the stands.
Talking a ton of shit.
Harassing.
Yeah, but that is college. That is why this game is charting here, because Memphis is going to go there thinking, oh, Big 12, look at us. They're going to get the tar beaten out of them in Greenville, Mike Houston style. Give me Memphis at East Carolina as my play.
I like it.
NC Nick, your thoughts?
Well, first off, I mean, ECU won this game in Memphis last year, 30-29 in overtime. If you remember, after ECU scored the touchdown with the first possession in overtime, Memphis scored a touchdown, then went for 2, but they came up short. So, yeah, I mean, look, Silver Heel, I think, is on the decline for Memphis. So why not go with your guys from Greenville? Give me ECU here.
There we go. Patty C, Memphis at ECU?
I mean, yeah, I just think that you're right. The energy is coming back to ECU, and that's a dangerous thing. And Memphis teetering potentially on the edge of slipping a little in the standings. I do think it's important for them to get all the wins they can and still build that resume for the potential Big 12 invite, as that might expand. But ECU, what are they going for?
They're going for the top
SEC bid.
Yeah, it's ACC. Come on. When we beat NC State week 1 after this preseason top 10 talk, we'll see what happens when Dave Doran comes down to Greenville.
You lost me, Colby.
All right, Patty C, you are on the clock.
Oh, let's go with a game that has had some implications in recent
where
years.
he's going.
I mean, it probably should be higher than certainly ECU versus Memphis. We're talking about South Bend, Indiana, where Stanford is visiting Notre Dame. Are we going to sit here and act like? I mean, what?
Is this the forced rivalry after Miami wouldn't play them? They're like,
No,
hey, play Stanford every year.
it wasn't Miami not playing Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah,
it was Notre Dame not playing Miami. Yeah, I'm going to say, look, it is the forced rivalry. It's part of Notre Dame's like West Coast season-ending recruiting.
Here's a perfect example. Louisiana Marshall, I would rather watch than Stanford Notre Dame.
Agreed.
You are a Stanford hater.
There's something inherently boring about Stanford at Notre Dame.
It's true.
It just doesn't. It doesn't fit.
It's just a bunch of squares playing football.
I mean, Stanford was kind of on a roll. They won 7 of 9 games between 2009 and 2017, but the Irish have won the last 3, and they've been blowouts.
Yeah, it's competitive. If nothing else, is competitive, and it often has been for stakes. I know Nick just said they've been blowouts, and I kind of expect that to continue in South Bend. But Stanford is always full of surprises, whether it be USC or Notre Dame. They somehow get up for these games.
I will tell you that a couple times have been thrown out here in this week. This is one of them. So this is prime time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, there's one other Mountain West game, which is on about the same time, that I'd rather watch more, which we'll get to later.
We will get to right after this, because I want to tell you that the college football experience is brought to you by Sleeper. Sleeper's the fastest growing fantasy platform today with millions of players. You probably already have a fantasy league on there. I know I do. It is a game-changing product unlike anything else in the industry, and now you can make money on Sleeper too by playing their brand new over-under game. It's super simple. First, in any sport, choose 2 or more players you like and pick the over-under on their stat projection, number of points in a basketball game, hits in a baseball game. Then choose the amount of money you want to enter in the contest. If you pick correctly, you can win anywhere from 2 times to over 20 times the amount of money you put in. And it's great. It's got this built-in group chat where you can play with your buddies. You can have a contest to play with your buddies, talk shit in the group chat. It's a lot of fun. So stop what you're doing and download the Sleeper app now to play their new over-under game. And look, on your mobile phone right now, join our listener group at sleeper.com/SGP, and Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. That's right. Join our squad and get 100% deposit match at sleeper.com/SGP. All right, folks, hang on for a second. Side 2 of the college football experience coming right now. And we're back on the college football experience. This is part 2 of, our week 7 preview. NC Nick is on the clock. And with no further ado, here we go. NC Nick, what are you doing?
So there's a couple of games here, but I mentioned that there's a game that we already have a time slot on for Saturday night. So might as well just come out of the gates with it. Because, when more time slots are available, this might go down in the pecking order. But I mentioned I would rather watch this game over Stanford Notre Dame, and that is the Mountain West contest, Utah State at Colorado State. It is going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern time. You got the all-time series. Colorado State leads 39-36-2. But Utah State is winners of the last 3, including a 2-point win in Logan last year. But really, I mean, what you have here, you have the returning Mountain West champion in Utah State versus the team in the conference with perhaps the most potential, especially with Jay Norvell going there.
Yeah,
so
certainly.
I think this is a fun game, very fun Mountain West game. And I think it's going to dictate, who's going to maybe be the top of the conference within the coming years.
I think Colorado State is going to be better than what people think this year. I even think Michigan better watch out, because bringing in, Matt Mumme, son of Hal Mumme, friend of the program, and, he went with them to Nevada, and 12 players did too. I don't know if it was 12, whatever the number was, right? It was a lot. And I think they're going to pick up that offense pretty fast. And if anything, Steve Addazio does well. He coaches O-line. I think the O-line is going to be able to protect now that normally run blocking is their strength. So I do think they might have to adjust to the air raid, but I think they bring in they got Millen coming in from Nevada at quarterback, the transfer. I think he'll have an effect right away. So Colorado State might be sneaky good this year. I mean, I'm not calling for them to win the Mountain West, but I do think they'll be a bowl team. So
well, people weren't calling for Utah State to win the Mountain West last year.
That's true. Blake Anderson, great job in year one. Really great job. And brought in some nice pieces in the transfer portal this offseason. So keep an eye out. I agree. I would rather watch Utah State or Colorado State. There we go.
I mean, big time is certainly everything you want in the Mountain West. Exactly the kind of matchup that's up in the mountains. Big rivals, I guess. Colorado or Utah State's third most played rival here. Like you said, 35-37 all time. Very competitive. Colorado State to me was the much more visible program in my youth. I feel like a lot more.
Sonny Lubick had them rolling.
Yeah,
they were like ranked. I remember they went to Charlottesville. Bradley Van Pelt kicked the tar out of the Wahoos.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah,
they had some NFL guys too.
Yeah, Joey Porter. Bradley Van Pelt played for the Broncos. I mean, they had more than that. I'm drawing a blank on some of the other players, but
Utah State being Colorado State's fourth most played rival. So these teams are very familiar with each other. Probably a lot more bad blood than I realize in this game. And I don't know. I think you got to expect competitive, but Utah State's profile has been on the rise, at least in my mind, for the last five or so years.
No, longer than that.
They've been
good,
killing it for a while. Yeah. Well, they've just really come on my radar as like a very feisty team, and so that's my fault. But either way, I'm interested because I want to see if Utah State can keep this up. But Norvell at Colorado, interesting development, or Colorado State, sorry.
Yeah, maybe at Colorado next year. We'll see. But yeah, I think it's a great matchup there. All right, it's on me. And I mean, you can't leave me It's tricky. It's tricky what to do here. And I'm not just quoting Run DMC. I'm going to take you to Friday night's lone game. Contrast in styles is always entertaining. SMU is hosting the Navy midshipman Ken Niumatalolo against Rhett Lashley. Everyone says Rhett Lashley, the splashy hire. I think Ken Niumatalolo might have something to say about that air raid he's running down there when the old triple option and Navy. I think Navy's gonna have one of their better teams in the past couple of years. And so give me Navy at SMU Friday night lone game, national TV. Sign me up. NC Nick, you ready to talk shit about this one or what?
No. Actually, I had this one ranked higher than Utah State, Colorado State, but just in our conversation, it made sense that I went with the Mountain West battle. But yeah, look, first off, Friday night by itself, say no more, and then also throw in the fact that these games have been fun lately. Now I will say that I think SMU is winners of 3 of the last 4. But look, it was a 31-24 win in Annapolis last year. There was a 31-30 game in Dallas back in 2018. And also SMU, they have a bye week to prepare for the triple option here. And they're at home. Give me my Mustangs, but yes, good fun game.
This series has been one of swings. I guess 6 of the first 7 were won by SMU. Then 12 of the next 13 were won by Navy, and now 3 of the last 4 have been won by SMU again. I would expect that trend to continue, but those service academies, I know it's been against Houston a couple times where Air Force and Army have both steamrolled them. Yeah. We'll see if there's something about Texas that gets rolled by another service academy here.
There we go. All right. So Patty C jumps.
This one there's one on my radar, obviously, with some personal flavor, but we're going to hold off on that for just a minute. We're going to go to the Pac-12 where there's a nice little competitive game and probably like a secondary rivalry. I don't know. Washington State going to Oregon State. Is there a rivalry here?
I like it. I love this game. I actually almost picked this game a few picks ago just because they're 2 teams that I always root for.
Yeah.
And I
but they're not fun against each other. They're fun against the big boys.
I still feel like if you're watching this late Saturday night, this might be one that you're talking about all week, because I could totally see this game being fireworks left and right.
They're both kind of chippy, or they're both very chippy, and they're kind of twins. They're the same team, and I like anytime you get that, especially in like secondary rivalries where they're both like vying for like that title of whatever, the chippy team in the Pac-12 North.
I mean, look, Washington State leads the series 56-46 all time, but they've had some barn burners. Last time they played, Washington State won 31-24. This has been a fun series. I mean, look, a lot of these, 31-24, 38-28, 54-53. Just some crazy, some high scoring battles in this matchup. So I think it's played in the right spot.
I mean, both of these teams, do they have the same amount of potential as a program, do you think? Does one team have more potential than the other? They both had some good years in the past.
Yeah, Wazoo's probably had the better program, I think, over the past, because in the 90s, Wazoo with Mike Price was
they went to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
But really because they had the better coach. I mean,
yeah,
because location, there's no advantage. There's no really advantage other than having the right coach.
Yeah, I mean, in state where Seattle is.
Yeah. So sign me up for that one, Nick. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, come on. First off, play anything right now. I'm not going to argue with it. Okay. We're getting to the bottom of the barrel here. But this is like a 10:30 p.m. start. I'm not going to be watching. These are two fun programs to root for when they're playing a big boy. When they're playing each other,
I like it, actually. You bastard, Duke, North Carolina. You got 13 and giving Washington State, Oregon State shit. When's the last time Duke's been in the Fiesta Bowl?
Kobe
or
sounds
the
like,
Rose Bowl.
Kobe sounds like Jerry Burns over there. Completely disgusted.
Hey, Duke's been in an ACC championship within the last 10 years.
Touche.
Oregon State whooped the tar out of Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl. All right. This decade or this century. All right. Pick 22 goes to UNC, Nick.
All right. Let me take you to Norman, I suppose. How about Kansas, Oklahoma?
You're goddamn right. I almost played this right after you were getting silly with your UNC Duke play. I almost played this because I was like, Leopold came mighty close.
Very close in year one.
Mighty close, and that might have been some bullshit.
Closer than he should have, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We don't know how Venables is going to do year one.
Yeah.
It's at Oklahoma, which is an advantage, obviously, but hey, you never know, man.
Yeah. Kansas. Did you think that was going to get called this game or this week, Patty C? Kansas at Oklahoma.
What else is there now?
Yeah, it's on my tier 2. I have a little 3-tiered system here. That was a tier 2 game to me, and I like it because of the reasons you guys mentioned before. And how often has it been? Not too often that Oklahoma has the less tenured coach in this particular matchup. So Kansas potentially in an advantage spot here that they could take advantage of. Granted,
hey, Norman, Kansas won at Texas last year. They can win at Norman this year.
Man, what a flex!
All right. I love this game. Yeah, I'm going to say this, Patty C. As a guy that's going to lock up the over on Kansas this year again, this is going to be must-watch TV for me.
This would be the ultimate fuck you out the door if they beat Texas and Oklahoma back-to-back years in their home stadium. That would as they left the Big 12.
The worst team in the conference.
Yeah. The worst team in Power 5, really, over the past 10 years at least.
Yeah.
All right, let's move along. It goes to me, and man, got all these shitty ACC games you're trying to make me pick.
Don't take that Pac-12 one.
It's tempting. I like it, but
there's a couple bad Pac-12 games.
I am gonna
zero national. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Are you trying to talk shit over there, Mr. ACC over there with your Duke Carolina play? I'm sick of it. All right. So I am going to take you to Pac-12 land. All right.
Which bad one?
I am taking you to Boulder, Colorado.
No, nobody cares about this game.
California at Colorado. Bring your drugs because both these fan bases
will be stoned out of their minds.
Yes, definitely love their edibles. And I think Justin Wilcox might be dealing with, a pretty good team, getting Jack Plummer in from Purdue. And I think Colorado, underestimate the pride of the Buffalo, and I think, watch out for the Buffs. Carl Durrell, great year 1, had a bad year 2, but I think a lot of that was injury based. Year 3, watch out for the Buffs to bounce back. Buffs upset the Golden Bears in Boulder.
I am curious. I want to pull up what this rivalry has been lately. Obviously, not played too much. It looks like they've only played 11 times. How long has Colorado been in the Pac-12?
Since 2012.
So only, or 2010, it looks like. So only, or maybe those were
no, they played them at a conference
those were
right before. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since 2010, I mean, prior to that, it had been 1982, but pretty even matchup. California getting the better out of them 5 out of 7, so maybe not that even. But I think Colorado might be at an advantage at home this year. I don't know. Wilcox, this is a good matchup though. It's not going to be nationally relevant, as Nick says, but it should be competitive.
Yeah, well, who cares about what NC Nick's saying sometimes? Just got gibberish. He's a hater. This is better than Duke, Carolina. Sign me up for bring your acid. Let's do this. Nick, your thoughts on Colorado?
I said it a couple of picks ago. Nothing right now. I'm not going to argue with anything. There's not much left here. So sure, but I'm not watching this game. This is the epitome of a meaningless Pac-12 game.
You just played Kansas and Oklahoma.
Oklahoma is relevant.
Kansas
almost beat him last year.
I know that, but I mean, it's not like.
At least one of the teams is relevant, and it was a very close game last year. I mean, yes, that game is better than this game. Colorado, best case scenario, but both teams are 7-5, 8-4, maybe.
Dude,
nobody cares. If I can put on my East Coast
Kansas
bias
hasn't had an 8-4 season.
If I can put on my East Coast
would die
bias
for an 8-4 season.
Nobody east of the Mississippi gives a shit. I'm not sure if too many people west of the Mississippi care either.
You're crazy. You're crazy. No one, what? Everyone on the East Coast. I lived on the East Coast. You know what they never gave a shit about? Carolina Duke. All right. When it came to football, no one gave a shit about that.
You've been going 20 years, buddy. All right.
We got 2 proud state flagship programs here. Just give it some love.
All right. Pick 24, Patty C. It's on you.
Look, I mean, fuck you guys. I'm taking us to the city, not the city, the state of Georgia, where James Madison, the Dukes, will be making a trip against an old rival, right? And playing the Georgia Southern Bulldogs.
No.
Why am I saying what?
Eagles?
Okay, yeah. God, I'm all over
the
place with this. Samsonite.
Such a great rivalry, Nick. Huh?
No, it's not. It has nothing to do with Georgia Southern.
First off, he couldn't name the city. Yeah, he couldn't name the mascot.
I was thinking Atlanta. I was making my mistake with Georgia State and Georgia Southern again. So have that, Eagles fans.
They shit on you on Twitter before. They're coming for you again.
At this point, I'm just baiting them to fight me on Twitter. Look, the Dukes are going to play the Eagles in what is the city?
Statesboro, Georgia.
Bumfuck Georgia. And
I think it's the Allman Brothers song.
Okay.
Statesboro Blues.
Close to Savannah.
Okay, wherever the fuck it is, JMU's going down there. Clay Helton's bitch ass is going to get exposed for the mediocre coach that he was. They're trying to overhaul after a dynasty of 30 years at the triple option.
Multiple national championships, you bastards.
And JMU's going to go down and teach him a lesson.
I do think so, and I hope they win by 50.
It's fun for me to watch, I'll say that.
I hope they win by 50. NC Nick's probably going to think Georgia Southern's going to have a chance at this thing. What do you make of this game, Nick?
I do think they have a chance. I mean, let's see JMU on the FBS level. But it's also why I want to watch the game. So I love the play here. And come on, I told you I'm a Sunbelt guy, so sign me up.
Sunbelt, Sunbelt action. All right, folks, I want to tell you the college football experience is brought to you by Athletic Greens and their AG1 supplement. You're probably wondering, what is this stuff? Well, with one delicious scoop of AG1, you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source, superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. This special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, your recovery, your focus, and your aging. All of those things, and it costs less than $3 a day. What are you doing? AG1 supports better sleep quality and recovery, and they have over 7,000 five-star reviews. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/SGP. Look, we're also brought to you by IPVanish. Did you know that browsing online using incognito mode doesn't actually protect your privacy? Afraid to tell you that, but that's true. That's true. Without added security, you might as well be giving away all your private data to hackers, advertisers, your ISP, and other prying eyes. That's why here at SGPN, we use IPVanish VPN to make it easy to stay truly private and secure on the internet. IPVanish helps you safely browse the internet by encrypting up to 100% of your data. All of it, 100% of your data. That means your private details, your emails, your passwords, your communications, your browsing history, and more will be completely shielded from falling into the wrong hands. Even your physical location will be hidden. IPVanish makes you virtually invisible online. IPVanish is super easy to use, too. So go to IPVanish.com/SGP and use the promo code SGP and claim 70% off your savings. That's IPVanish.com/SGP. All right, folks. We only got 5 more picks left, or 6 more picks left. It is on NC Nick.
And we're going to stay in the Sun Belt. Old Dominion at Coastal Carolina. The other new member of the conference gets the first taste of the beach. Come on, Sun Belt action. Give me some.
The Monarchs traveling to the Chanticleers.
I'm sure those guys in the 757 claim to be the beach guys themselves. This could be who's the real beach team in the Sun Belt.
Virginia Beach versus Myrtle Beach. I love it.
I like it.
Just rednecks galore on either end of that one.
Surprised you took this over another game I see in the Mountain West that could be very interesting, but I understand you're a
I'm an East Coast guy, buddy. I'm Sun Belt, man.
Have they played before? Do we know that? I guess probably not. ODU started their football program, right? They weren't FCS, I don't think.
I'll do a little research on that. I'm going to say probably no, though, but I'll let you know in a second.
Old Dominion, Ricky Ronnie's first year was underrated, I feel like, as last year's college football landscape goes. So he could be building something there. And then Coastal, obviously, Grayson McCall is back. The mullet is back.
Old Dominion won in 2012, 63-35.
Ooh,
so this
is revenge game.
Ooh,
is this the first
10 years later?
First FBS matchup between the two teams? Then?
Must be.
It's gotta be the case.
Yeah. Wow. So that should be fun. Yeah, I like it. It should be a weekday game though. Put the shit on Wednesday.
True.
Right? Come on. All right. It jumps over to me. You got some interesting matchups out there. And for some very stupid reason, ACC Colby's going to make an appearance.
It's not a stupid reason. It's a good game. And
because for some reason, the Carrier Dome can be the host of an upset. So if this hype is legit and Dave Doran really does have a top 10 team, this could be a sneaky game because that stupid, filthy dome that they should ditch, they have had some upsets in that thing. NC State at Syracuse. I'm playing it. It's better than Duke, Carolina as well. Nick, your thoughts on your boys in Raleigh? They're gonna catch an L up there with Babers?
I don't think so, but
they would lose this game. They watch them be undefeated.
Well, that's the same thing we said when we did the week 6 preview. If we said if they beat Clemson, they might lose at home to Florida State. Maybe you're right. Maybe they beat Clemson and Florida State and then drop this one. But I will say, I mentioned a couple of teams here about returning production. NC State is the only team that finished in the top 15 last year that also has a top 15 returning production rating this year.
Hence,
so they are number 12, 81% returning production, 75% on offense, 88% on defense. They're gonna be good this year.
3 one-score wins a season ago out of their 9.
Syracuse coming off a bye. NC State coming off consecutive games at Clemson and then hosting Florida State. I mean,
tricky spot.
tricky little spot for the and then like we said, they're the new Clemson. So
Well, and
big wins and inexplicable losses.
And some of the other teams that came into the Carrier Dome a year ago, Clemson won 17-14. Like I said, Syracuse missed that field goal.
Yeah.
Wake Forest won 40-37 in overtime. It's a tough place to grab a dub, surprisingly. So watch out. Tread lightly there, Wolfpack.
I think this game's a little underranked on our standings here.
There we go.
You could argue that.
All right. Well, Patty C, you are on the.
Well, I think we're officially at the point where we're grasping for straws here. I
see a couple I like still.
There's a couple decent matchups. But personally, I guess I'm going to take us to it's close. There's one in the Mountain West, and that one's a good one. But I'm going to go to the Big Ten, where Minnesota will be traveling to Illinois. This is just a projection on Bielema improving the team again.
Who won this last year?
That's a good question. Well, I will try and pull that up.
Nick, do you know who won this last year?
I don't know off the top of my head.
When
it comes this late, my research wanes.
Let me pull that up while our fans wait on this. This game was won by Illinois last year.
Yeah.
14-6 in Minneapolis.
Oof.
We're going back to Champaign this year, and
sounds like a fun one.
I think PJ Fleck, he might have a decent squad on his team, and you guys were the ones selling me on Bielema in Illinois a week or two ago. So
no, yeah, it belongs to be played. I agree.
It's close to a border battle.
It's not a fun game though. It's not like I'm excited to watch this.
I actually dig Minnesota's vibe. I think Fleck has a fun brand of football. And you know what? Bielema doing the Wisconsin football thing is kind of fun for me too, especially at a place that needs it like Illinois. I'm intrigued by this game. Screw you guys.
You guys know I'm not the biggest Big Ten West fan. So
he hates everything except the ACC. Sunbelt and ACC. Anyway, all right, NC Nick. Besides the what the fuck game.
All right, it's my last one.
Yep.
All right, well, I'm going to throw out two bold teams from a year ago on opposite sides of the conference, so they don't play every year. So it might be similar to what game did we mention earlier? We mentioned Utah USC, my first pick, where it might be a conference championship. They might play twice this year, and that's not what you're thinking. I'm going to throw out a MAC game. I'm going to go Kent State at Toledo. Two of the usual better teams in the MAC. I want to throw this out just because he hates on the MAC.
I like it.
Why not? But it is a prime candidate for play this shit on Friday night or something.
Yeah. They got the Golden Flash against the Rocket. Golden Flash, much better name than the Rockets.
Rockets way better and way better helmet. The Rockets helmet, super underrated.
Sucks.
Coley hates it. It's
sucks.
fucking awesome.
Kent State of Toledo, sign me up. This could be high octane. I know Dustin Crum is gone, right? But I think this offense with Sean Lewis will keep rolling. Jason Candle turned down the Miami OC position to stay at head coach at Toledo. Watch out.
Top offense in the country. For certain people, you got to for anyone, you want to tune into that no matter what.
Yes. I think it's a fun one. I think it's certainly a fun one. All right. Patty C.
What do you got for me?
Man, I'm trying to make a case for this other game, but no, I don't think I can.
There's only one.
Well, I gotta go to. Let's go to Fresno, California.
There you go.
Where Nick was sleeping on this one, maybe because he's going to be sleeping literally when this game's being played. But San Jose State at Fresno State, two good coaches going at it, rivals in California. Sign me up. Got to go into the Valley, so this place will be lit. If it was in San Jose, no one would be there. But Fresno does bring a crowd. I think this game will be fun. San Jose State at Fresno State. NC Nick, why did you not pick this one earlier?
No, it was on my list. I think I had it ranked at 25. I just wanted to show some love for the MAC. It was ranked higher. Should be a good game, but you're right. It'll probably be on too late for me.
All right. Well, look, I'm playing that one.
Look at this. If sportsreference.com is accurate, then these are their most played rivals, Fresno State's most played rival is San Jose State. That can't possibly be accurate. But then San Jose State's second most played rival is Fresno State. So they're almost essentially arch rivals here. They're in the same
they are rivals,
neck of the woods.
Yeah.
They should who do they play at the end of the year typically?
Fresno gets San Diego State, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, either way, this game is a little more regionally. The what is that? The Central Coast.
Yeah.
Versus the Bay Area. Kind of fun. You got to figure Fresno's ahead on this one, but San Jose State, 2 years removed from a Mountain West,
I think, right?
Mountain West championship berth. So yeah, good game here.
Jeff Tedford, I was going through the data there. You know how bad Cal was before he was there? And then he did a great job at Cal. They haven't had any of the success that he had prior, like since afterwards. Wilcox has done all right, 8-win season, but never 9 or 10 like Tedford was getting. And then you look at what Fresno was before him: 3 straight losing seasons. The year before he got there, they were 1-11. He wins 10 games in year 1 in Fresno. He's a great coach.
Yeah, he is a great coach. Underrated, probably.
Yeah, sign me up for watching that one. Patty C. of the draft.
All right. Well, this one's as much for the music as it is for anything.
Hang on.
Cue me up here.
Hang on here. Okay, I'm ready.
We are going to Honolulu, where the Wolfpack of Nevada will be traveling to meet the Rainbow Warriors of Hawaii in a fun one. You know what? Is this a Pac-12 out? Is this a Mountain West After Dark one?
Mountain West After. This will be a really late. This is if you're a college football junkie like us, even at me as a kid, you stay up.
This is your
on the East
11:59.
Coast. This thing will kick at midnight.
Yeah,
you're up till 3 a.m. You're watching good old Hawaii football.
It's a hard ticket to Hawaii. It's not paradise all the time.
Yourself and watch the movie Hard Ticket to Hawaii.
And watch this game. Because this is going to be the last game of the night. You know what I mean? You know it is.
Yeah.
So Nevada at Hawaii, the Ching Complex Center with Timmy
We'll be
Chang.
rocking. I just imagine like a field like near a beach with like some tiki torches lit up. And that's the Ching Complex.
It is. It is. Whether it is or isn't. That's what
it is in our hearts.
Surprised you passed on New Mexico State. Little battle. It
was on the radar.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think you're right. That needs to be played there. Also, Arizona at Washington didn't get played.
One thing about Hawaii, Nevada. First off, Patty, thank you for any reason to playing that sweet music is a good reason. But I mentioned a couple of times this returning production. These are the 2 worst teams in the nation. 130 and 131. If you remember when both coaches left, there was a mass exodus of players.
Yeah.
So these
and Nevada's starting quarterback just caught a DUI.
Beautiful. Put it on the what the fuck game of the week. They kind of blend together at this point anyway.
No. I like it. I think that's what makes it compelling. So Maryland at Indiana, we passed on. Vandy at Georgia, the other Power 5 games that did not make the cut. All right, it is time before we get out of here for our Lou Holtz What the Fuck game of the week, where we wonder why these games are played and why they're scheduled. So with that, Lou Holtz.
Well, I don't got the brain man cold, but they're counting down 7-6-5.
Yeah, NC Nick, what is your number 1 what the fuck game of the week?
Well, you mentioned it, but not for the reasons that you mentioned. I understand why it's played. It should be played every year, but this game just sucks, and nobody outside of the state is going to watch it, and that is New Mexico State.
Oh,
nobody
I thought you were
cares.
going to say Vandy, Georgia.
No,
I would much rather watch New Mexico State.
That would be
Vandy,
2
Georgia.
states. That would be 2 different states. Okay, so come on, who the hell's going to watch New Mexico State?
Me.
This game could be on Mars for all that matters. I mean, nobody cares about this.
He doesn't appreciate a good old fashioned in-state rivalry, does he?
I mean,
Patty's Mr. Border Battle. He doesn't care about in-state rivalries. He wants a border battle.
I like a good border battle. I like a good in-state rivalry. This one almost made my top 30. Not gonna lie, but I mean, look, there's just not that many weird ass matchups, and in terms of terrible football being played, this is most likely to be the game.
Jerry
First
Kill.
off- First off,
Jerry-
good luck finding this game on TV.
Oh, we got you covered. Come to God's Eye. Come to old Eagle Rock, California.
Both each other's most played rival, obviously, in-state rivals too. 87 matchups. New Mexico State has gotten dominated 22-63 all time in the rivalry. So rooting for the Aggies as the dog here.
Jerry Kill brought in an Oklahoma transfer this week. So watch out.
Killing it.
Can't believe he played that one.
Well, I don't get Rain Man cold, but they're counting down 7-6-5.
All right, I'll take you to the one he should have played. Because, look, I get it. The game needs to be played because they are in the same conference. They are in the same part of the conference in the SEC East. But we don't need to televise it. We really don't need it there. Vanderbilt at Georgia.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of least competitive, least compelling game on the schedule.
I almost played Gardner Webb at Liberty, but I thought, you know what? I'd rather watch the running Bulldogs go into Lynchburg, Virginia, and try to pull that off. But no, Vandy at Georgia sucks. That game's I think it's the worst Power 5 matchup all year.
In Athens too. Yeah, absolutely. What
Georgia lost a lot.
Vanderbilt never had a lot.
Right. Georgia could lose their entire first two what do you call that? Starting and backups and still probably beat Vanderbilt. Let's be honest. I don't know. Terrible.
Yeah, terrible. Patty C.
Well, I don't get Rain Man cold, but they're counting down 7-6-5.
I mean, there's kind of nothing left on this.
There's Colgate at Army. There's Gardner Webb, Liberty. There's I'm sure Florida Atlantic will rout Rice.
Oh, that's a terrible, unwatchable.
Oh, first off, can I say 5 games ago? Okay, 2016, not that far ago. Vanderbilt won at Georgia.
Wow.
James Franklin?
17-16.
That's incredible.
Wow.
That's incredible.
James Franklin is a miracle worker. And maybe that was what got
was that
Rick
Franklin?
fired.
I don't even know. Yeah.
Vanderbilt went to a bowl game. They went to the Camping World Independence Bowl. Lost to NC State 41-17 that year.
Oh, that's why he remembers it.
Was that his last year? Or was Smart already there?
It had to be his last year.
I don't know. That. All I know is that Vanderbilt won at Georgia within the last 5 years.
All right.
That is pretty wild. UConn at Ball State. I know, Patty C, you're a Ball State guy.
I already got it. I got it picked out. Rice at Florida Atlantic. Just the stupidest football game that anyone ever thought of. Who gives a rat's ass about either of these teams, let alone going halfway across the country to play each other? Okay. I'm glad this is on the schedule.
Well, I don't get Rain Man cold.
All right, folks, subscribe to the College Football Experience as we break down every single week of the season. Remember, June 10th, we're starting solo previews for every team in the land, 131 teams. Subscribe. Tell a friend. We are the College Football Experience. We are on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. If you give us a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify, take a photo. Find me on Twitter at TheColbyD. Show me that thing, and we'll send you a College Football Experience t-shirt. Brand new, never worn, not in Patty C's closet. Guarantee you. Give Patty C a follow on Twitter, Patty C831. Give NC Nick a follow on Twitter at NC_NICK. And remember, the College Football Experience on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. We're also on YouTube. Remember to subscribe, people, and get the SGPN app. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. We also host the College Basketball Experience, which we talk year round. We also host the USFL Gambling Podcast as that season heats up as we're heading to Canton. So check all that stuff out. And let's enjoy just an awesome off season of college football with the transfer portal and everything, and we got you covered here. So this is the College Football Experience. You better start thinking about yours, and we out of here.